And now, Daljit Dhaliwal.
In the throes of its worst economic crisis of the post-war era and rife with political scandal, Japan is trying to reassert its regional leadership with help from the United States. In February, Japanese Prime Minister Taro Aso was the first head of state to visit President Obama, and his country was also the first stop on Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's inaugural trip. Here to discuss the current situation is Hiroki Tsujita, Washington Bureau Chief of Kyodo News. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me here.
So let's talk in a little bit more detail about the scale and the depth of Japan's recession. Is it worse than the United States and Europe?
Yeah, I think that description is the right and the correct one. And we will estimate that this year's economic growth will be maybe the worst in our history. The government statistics say that the economy of this year will be 90% of the last year. So we'll have an economy 10% down from the previous year. That's a big shock.
And how does Japan's growth compare to the rest of Asia?
Well, China is still expanding so rapidly, even under this condition of the world economy. And as you know, that India is very good in producing the IT products. But Japan's most product is about the cars and the computers and the electric appliances, which we can sell to the U.S. and US and Chinese market. But because of the world economy, we don't sell well.
Give us some context into why there's been so much over-reliance on exports in the Japanese economy.
Oh, because that maybe the national character or culture of Japanese, we don't spend our money to buy many things as Americans do. So that chronicle problem of the Japanese economy. And in the 90s, we had so to speak, lost decades of the bubble burst of the Japanese economy. We are told by the world leaders that the Japanese should spend more money to buy Japanese products. But still, we are export-oriented.
Right. I mean, are there other structural problems within the economy? And is there much public discourse in Japan about the kind of dialogue that we've had here about regulation versus deregulation?
Well, we are moving into the deregulation era because we had the very rigid structural bureaucrats, not only the government but also in the economy. But that structure change in the halfway, middle way, and now we are hit by the world crisis. So, we are in a big discussion that whether we should proceed to the deregulation way or moving back to the past Japanese, protected way.
And how does the Japanese public view the way that Prime Minister Taro Aso has handled the crisis?
Well, they don't appreciate much because of the political leadership. What we have now is very weak, and they can't act decisively to stimulate the economy. First of all, the diet is twisted. We have the two houses in the diet, the parliament. One house is taken by the LDP, the ruling party. The other one is taken by the opposition party. So the main priority of the opposition party is attack the government. So each new bill moves to the other house, the opposition party will attack it, and they don't pass. So we can't have the stimulus package.
Talk about some of the social consequences of the economic downturn. I mean, has it increased poverty?
Yes, of course. Japanese are seen as a homogeneous nation, egalitarian society, but now we are seeing that the two-class society. The one is the wealthy, educated, and cosmopolitan. The other one is in poverty, less educated, and looking inward. So those the poverty class don't have the chance to get the promotion or good jobs and good training to get out of the class.
The election is just a few months away. How would you assess Prime Minister Taro Aso's chances of re-election?
Very small. Most experts say that the LDP, the Prime Minister's party, will lose, and we'll have the new Prime Minister, somebody from the LDP, the opposition party, DPJ. But the head of the DPJ, his name is Mr. Ichiro Ozawa. He's in a political scandal. his top aide was arrested last year by the police on charge of the involvement to the financial illegal fundraising.
Taking corporate donations.
Yeah, that's
Something
right.
like to the tune of many millions of dollars.
Yeah,
in fact,
$3 million.
over 10 years.
Yeah, $3 million over 10 years.
How did this go undiscovered over a period of 10 years? Maybe?
Well, that's the kind of old tradition of the Japanese politics, to get the money from the big corporations, but not reporting to the government committee of the election.
So how will it affect his election chances then?
Well, because of even that scandal, exposed the approval rating of the prime minister has not improved because people were so frustrated with the performance of the prime minister. So that even with that scandal, Ozawa's party, opposition party, will win the election. But Ozawa
Didn't
himself.
one poll say that it was down to 10% for the prime minister and only,
That's right.
16% for the opposition leader? I mean, it seems like the public don't like either of them very much.
You are right. But we need somebody who is who has a new impression, new image, and a new face, so that anybody bad about Ozawa and Taro Aso will be welcomed by the Japanese public.
But also, do these political problems mean that both the opposition and the government are so focused on just winning the election, because it's not that far away, that it means that enough focus isn't being given to Japan's chronic economic problems? It's in the middle of a recession.
Yeah, that's right. So we are hoping to have a new leader who will have the very strong and stable government to help the U.S. government or world leaders to solve the global issues like financial crisis, world economic crisis, or global warming, that kind of global issues, which are a very big challenge.
Hiroki Sujita, thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.